beautiful people of the internet. My name is Ellie and bienvenidos to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be doing the rapid fire tag. I don't remember who created this, but I'll go ahead and leave everything I know down below. In all of my videos, I have all of the information that I talk about in the description box. I have everything down there. My social media links are down there. I'll go ahead and put the originator down there because I do want to give credit to whoever did start this. I found this tag through Alliembooks. If you guys don't know her, I'll go ahead and put her info down below. Go check her out. She's actually really funny. I find her videos very interesting and she's very bubbly and she makes me smile. Let's go ahead and get into this tag. This is the rapid fire tag. So basically you answer these questions with the very first thing that you can think of without thinking too much about it. If I look down, it's because I have the questions on my phone. First question, ebook or physical book? I actually like both. I prefer ebook though because it's easier to travel with. So instead of me taking one physical book, I have my Kindle where I have a whole library full of books that I can just take on the go. Ebook is more convenient, but I like both. Question number 2, paperback or hardback? Honestly, I used to like paperback more than hardback because they weren't as heavy and they don't take up as much room. But for pure vanity purposes, I like hardbacks because usually the hardbacks are prettier. Question number 3, online or in-store book shopping? I actually like to do both. I prefer to go in-store shopping because then I can actually feel the book, read the synopsis, and see if it's a big or thin book. I do both, but I prefer in-store shopping. Question number 4, trilogies or series? Standalone, duologies, or trilogies are my favorite because I don't want to commit to a whole series, to like a 5 to 7 book series, because that's just a lot. I remember the last series that I was ever into was Sweep, and Sweep had a lot of books to it. I think the last one I stopped at was like 8. If I remember correctly. And I'll put a picture if you guys have never seen it. Standalones is best, but trilogies is as far as I want to go. Question number 5, heroes or villains? I actually like both, but I am so down for a villain or a good anti-hero. I love to hate them. I cannot begin to describe to you how much I love to hate some of these characters because they're written so well. I prefer villains, but I like both. Question number 6, a book you want everyone to read. I would love everyone to read Horror Store by Grady Hendrix. This book was so surprising and so hilarious. It's a horror dark comedy. Yes, this centers around a group of 5 people who are trying to find out why things are going awry in this store that they work at, which is a knockoff of IKEA. So that's why this looks like an IKEA catalog, but it's not IKEA. The store is actually called Orsk. It's hilarious because in here it also has employee hiring form and it has like the employee manual in here. This was so creative. It was so funny and it was really creepy. I want everybody to read this. If you are into horror and if you like comedy or like dark comedies, you will love this book. Go pick it up. Read the synopsis, read maybe like the first chapter. I want everyone to read this. Please read this, please. Question number 7, recommend an underrated book. The underrated book is This Is Our Story by Ashley Elston. This is a YA thriller. I actually was super surprised. This took me on a ride until the very end. My prediction on who the killer was not it. I'm so glad that I picked it up and I'm so glad that I gave it a chance. It is very slow burning. It does have romance in it. It's kinda insta-lovey. The underlying story was just so good to me that I could overlook the other tropes. This is an underrated book that I want everyone to read, so please pick it up, please read it, just like Horror Store. I really want everyone to read it. Next question, last book you finished. Night Film by Marisha Pessl. That book is very slow burning. It's super interesting because it has a lot of mixed media in it. So it has like websites, it has magazine clippings, it has police reports, stuff like that. So that was the last book that I finished. Last book you bought. The last book that I bought was the box set of A Court of Thorns and Roses trilogy by Sarah J. Maas. Next question. Weirdest thing you've used as a bookmark? Let me show you. I wouldn't necessarily call this weird, but I have these 2 Yu-Gi-Oh cards that my nephew gave to me that are in Spanish. Cambio de fidelidad, which directly translated, it's change of fidelity. So it's this card right here. It's the change of heart, and he gave me Liberación del Alma, which is this one, which is the liberation of the soul, is what it's directly translated as. But I can't remember what card this is, but I'll put it on the screen because I can't remember what this actually is in English. This was the other Yu-Gi-Oh card that I used as a bookmark. It can be nerdy and stylish at the same time. They serve dual purposes. Next question. Used books, yes or no? Definite yes. Top 3 favorite genres. Romance, any type of romance. It can be contemporary, it can be smut, or adult romance. Horror. The third one is a tie between thrillers, which include psychological thrillers, and YA, because I like YA. Kind of cheating, but those are my favorite genres. Next question. Borrow or buy? I prefer to buy the books. I am not against borrowing because use your library, guys. Save yourself some money. Characters or plot? I would say plot, because if you have really well-written characters but a really bad plot, then your characters don't matter if the plot isn't well-developed and well-written. So in this case, I would say plot. Long or short books? I like both. I prefer, I would say long, because it keeps me immersed in this world longer. Long or short chapters? Short chapters. I don't know if I'm the only one, but when I'm reading a really long chapter, I hate not finishing a chapter. I hate stopping in the middle of a chapter. It makes me very annoyed for some weird reason. Like, I have to finish the chapter. So if it's a super long chapter, I will not stop reading until I get to the end of that chapter, and then I can go into a stopping point. I prefer short chapters because it's easier for me to get through a book that way, and it also makes me feel like I'm progressing through the story faster. Mostly it's because it's easier for me if I need a stopping point. I don't have to wait that long for the chapter to finish. Name the first 3 books you think of. A Court of Thorns and Roses, 6 of Crows, The Perks of Being a Wallflower. Next question. Books that makes you laugh or cry. I prefer books that make me laugh. I hate crying in books because it makes me super emotional. I like both, but I prefer laughing more. Next question. Our world or fictional worlds? Definitely fictional worlds. I love just imagining something different from what our world is. It gives me the chance to escape my world to go to somebody else's. Next question. Audiobooks, yes or no? Yes. I didn't think I would be an audiobook kind of girl, but this past month I was able to do the free trial with Audible, and that has been the greatest thing in existence. The last book that I read was They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera, and the narrators for that were so good, which was a reason why that book hit me so hard, because I was so invested with the narrators for this book. Audiobooks, definitely yes. Do you ever judge a book by its cover? Of course. Book to movie or book to TV adaptations? Book to TV show adaptations are best because you actually get to do the whole details of a book. You have a whole season to do all that, as opposed to a movie where you only have about 2 to 3 hours max, to where you can do this whole entire world and actually say the story correctly. The story that the book is trying to portray or trying to establish, trying to do that in 2.5 to 3 hours is really difficult. So I would say book to TV is better. Next question. A movie or TV show you preferred to its book? Do I even have to go over this? I'll link it up here if you haven't seen it, but It by Stephen King. Definitely the movie was so much better than the book, and I'm gonna leave it there because if not, I'm gonna go into a huge rant and we don't want to do that. Series or standalones? This is kind of going back to that other question that I said earlier. I prefer standalones because I don't want to commit myself to a whole series. I don't mind series though. I do like both, but I prefer standalones because it's just easier for me to get in, get out, read the whole story, don't have to worry about what happens next. But I do love series like Harry Potter. I will read all those 7 books. I like both. I prefer standalones better. That was my rapid fire tag. Thank you guys so much for giving me some time and getting to know me a little bit better. If you guys want to do it, I tag all of you to do it. Go ahead. If you guys have any other questions for me, if you have any other tags that you would like me to do, leave them down below. Check out Alliembooks since that's where I found this tag at. And I will leave the original person who created this tag down below so that way I am giving proper credit. If you have any questions, further questions on any of the books that I was recommending, go ahead and leave them down below. Thank you guys so much for all the support that you guys have given me from my booktube newbie tag that I did. You guys are so welcoming. You guys have been the best. This community is so great. You guys, the warm welcomes that I got was just amazing, and you guys made me feel like I was on top of the world. So thank you so much. Don't forget, while you're here, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and that notification bell. Let you know when I do upload. That is all for me today, and I hope that you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, weekend, week, wherever you are. Again, thank you so much for taking the time out to hang out with me today, and I wish you nothing but happiness. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!
Peace.